I am live, I think. Let's just see something here. Okay. Cool. Oh. What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami here at the Toku and Animation News Network, and this is my final livestream Q&A of 2023. Good riddance to this year. I see people are in the chat. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I think you can at this point. But ask me any questions you like. Let's see what I know, things that I've been up to. Well, I just finished editing my Ultraman Zerth review about an hour ago. Had that rendering. I'm going to upload that to YouTube later on today. See if it gets any copyright claims, and if not, I'll be releasing that tomorrow morning. I just put out my best and worst movies list of the year and a Godzilla comic review, and I have another Godzilla comic review as well that I got to start editing, which is for War for Humanity issue number 3. And my Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name review, which I recorded. I just haven't started editing on that yet because I wanted to make Zerth my final review of 2023. I've been playing Spider-Man 2, which has been damn awesome so far. The opening segments of the game felt like I was playing an old school God of War. Only difference is instead of Sandman, you had the Colossus there, or in God of War 3, you had Atlas. Well, he wasn't the beginning of the game, but Poseidon was. But yeah, I felt like I was playing an old school God of War game. Been also playing Mario Wonder, which has been a lot of fun, but it is more of the same. And then obviously I played Like a Dragon Gaiden. And we've been just relaxing, watching movies on this great Christmas break. I have one more week off from school. I want to try to watch some Godzilla movies during the week and maybe start Ryu Soldier, because I'll hope to have a Ryu Soldier review out hopefully by Easter. We'll see what happens. No guarantees. I'm not going to set a time like I did with Lupot, because damn did that make watching Lupot and editing it stressful. I gave myself unnecessary stress by trying to have that review done by Christmas. But let's see what we've got here. Chris says, I'm going to miss 2023, but this year got us King Oger, Gotchard, and Blazer. King Oger and Blazer, I definitely agree on. Yes, the last live stream for the year. Santa Claus? No, I don't think I'm Santa Claus. Anthony Sarkis, welcome. I hope you are doing well too. Thoughts on the Boom Boomger suits? I think they are butt-ass ugly. Not Geoger ugly, but ugly, especially the helmets. It's very tiresome. They have some interesting attire. Let's see, Nick Cooper. Hello. Chris, what is your least favorite movie of the year? Well, you're gonna have to watch the videos to find that out, since I already released them. I'm not gonna give you spoilers. I mean, you kind of cat, stop doing that. Away, cat, away. But you can find that out by the videos. Spoilers. Godzilla is one of them. So let's see. What's another movie that didn't make the list though? Because I had a couple movies that didn't make the list, and now I can't think of what they were. Oh well, it doesn't matter. You can watch my best and worst list. Deny. What is your best and worst thing in Disney and Warner Brothers 100 year? The best thing. Well, Warner Brothers finally gave us some movies that should have been out on 4K a few years ago. The worst thing was the shit movies. Disney making Ant-Man 3 crappy, and Warner Brothers not firing Ezra Miller when they should have. Will you be reviewing Kamen Rider Build or X Octuple Canvas? I will at some point. Kamen Rider is kind of on the back burner at the moment because I want to knock out Sentai. I mean, now that I've got Ultraman done, I'm just looking at the cat. Now that I've got Ultraman practically done, except for the anime stuff, that's off my plate. So I might have time for more Kamen Rider. Obviously, there's Space Shiraven coming out in February from Discotech, so that's going to take some priority over other stuff. But I'll eventually get to Build and X. I had originally started X this year, watched one episode, and then I never got to go back to it. So I'll just have to start over. Ever played Ultraman Fighting Evolution 3? No, I have never actually played any of the Ultraman fighting games. Let me see if I can turn this a bit. I've never played any Ultraman. Actually, I've never played any Toku games, period. Star Wars fan, welcome. Hope you have a new year too. Chris, I cannot believe Zerth never got a series, which sucks. Well, I personally am happy it didn't get a series. I could barely get through those movies. That's 2 hours I will never get back. At least they were quick to review. Russian Wanderer. Turn A Gundam has woke elements. Okay. Cool. I do remember that. I've never checked it out. The Omi Pro channel. Anthony Sarkis. This week I rewatched Omen 76, and that's the first time I watched sequels on the Shop Factory Blu-ray box that I got for Christmas. I have only seen the original and the remake. I know the remake sucked. I wasn't big on the original, but it had some cool stuff. I like that Patrick Troughton was in it. Robotech live action film, Dead on Arrival, agreed. Hope 2024 will be a good year for Toku, I guess. We can hope. Right now, I mean, Kamen Rider, no. Sentai's not looking too good, but we'll see. And who knows what Ultraman will bring. Given how not toy-centric Blazer has been, I'm expecting it's going to be a very toy-heavy Ultraman series for the next one. Deny. I hear rumor that Goanger and Tokujuro will be in Boomanger. Yeah, I'm not. I heard those rumors too. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but whatever. Nick Cooper. In Time Ranger, I got introduced to Time Fire, and from what I've seen so far, he's awesome. Also, V-Rex is awesome. Same with the theme song. Oh, nice. So you're in the early 30s then? Yes, I like Time Fire. Time Fire is badass. Time Ranger is just a great show all around. Yep, Discotech is releasing Shiraven, comes up February 27th. They just announced it last week, 2 weeks ago? Something like that. The week when I was very busy with report cards and being sick. Have you played Giga Bash? I have not. I have no interest in cell phone games or online games in general. I prefer single-player games. My thing is, I play video games to get away from people, not interact with them. So typically, if I'm playing a video game, it's to get away from people. So I don't really play games online. I used to play GTA 5's online mode for the heists, but once they started pricing it out where you had to buy all these things to even enjoy the heist, I stopped playing it because I don't have the patience or the time to dedicate online, and I'm not doing microtransactions. This week I watched for the first time Fritz Lang's Destiny from 21 and M. I haven't seen Destiny, but I have seen M. I love M. Peter Lorre does a great scumbag in that movie. So you're going to the Sentai shows from 2019 to 21. That's the plan. Next year's plans are Ryu Soldier, Kira Major, and Zenkaiger. If I get to Dawn Brothers, I will review it, but those are my 3 series I plan to review next year. King Oger probably won't. I'll probably wait till the following year to tackle King Oger, whether I get through Dawn Brothers or not. But my plans are for up through Zenkaiger next year. Which also means if Boom Boomger isn't good, I don't know if I'll watch it right away as it's airing, because I'll end up just reviewing the whole series in 2025. It'll be so weird to be fully caught up on Sentai, though. I mean, it will be really weird. I don't know how I would even review a new series until I wait a few years for like all the movies to come out and all that stuff. I don't know how I would review a currently airing Sentai show. I'd probably just go focus on everything else for a few years and then come back. Are you going to bet Ultraman Arc will be for younger kids? Yeah, I'm going to guess that because of how well Blazer is and how adult oriented it is, that they're going to want to aim Arc for a younger audience. But we'll see. Maybe they're going to see that Sentai and Kamen Rider are doing younger stuff and decide to go with a more adult oriented show because of how kidified those two are next year. At least that's the rumor, that Boom Boomger is going to be more kid oriented, which I'm very disappointed in hearing, because they had a good thing going with Dawn Brothers and King Oger. I'd like to see that continue. When do you think Shout will release more Sentai and Rider shows on video? I have no idea when we'll see another Sentai show for sure, because apparently Hasbro going through all these layoffs, they don't have the time or because Shout Factory has to tell Hasbro, okay, we want to license this show for Super Sentai from Toei. They have to ask Hasbro's permission. Hasbro has to go and be like the middleman to go to Toei to do the negotiations, then go back to Shout Factory to tell them yes or no, or it's a complicated web. But that's basically the gist of it. And Hasbro right now, with all the layoffs they're going through, the lack of care for the Power Rangers brand, it's on like their we'll get to it eventually list. So I don't think we're going to see any more Sentai for a while, as long as Shout Factory has to use Hasbro as their middleman to do so. Because Hasbro has a worthless CEO right now who's laying off people but collecting paychecks, and they don't care about the brand right now. So it's going to be a good while before we see more Sentai releases, which sucks. If they don't have the time, they should just say, hey, you know what? Why don't you we're going to forego our rights. you work directly with Toei if they're not going to bother having any effort put into it, or if it's going to take that long to act as a middleman. As for Rider, it probably just depends on the cost. I'm still wondering if they're just trying to figure out how they want to release the original series. I'm thinking they should do 2 box sets, but we'll see how it goes. It would be nice to hear something on the Kamen Rider front, but apparently Bandai put a stop on a lot of Kamen Rider releases in America because they got rid of their Team Kamen Rider USA group. Because the guy who is apparently in charge of Bandai's American operations hates Toei, and he's been working with Super Rider to push Ultraman more, and doesn't want Kamen Rider to have that much of an impact. He wants Ultraman to have the impact in America, which is bullshit. If that really is the case, that is bullshit. But yeah, so Bandai of America's head apparently hates Toei, so he hates Kamen Rider. So he's been limiting as much Kamen Rider releases in America as possible. So who knows? We might have to wait for Discotech to license more Kamen Rider. Or maybe Shelt Factory has realized that the cost just doesn't have enough return on investment, sadly. Alright. Did you enjoy the 2 Zerf movies or not? Not really. Not really at all. I felt there'll be more details in my review, but I felt the comedy was too forced at times. Deny. I hear people say want to see Boom Ranger, a first female Black Ranger, a first female Orange Ranger. How about just a female Red Ranger that's the leader? Go for that. I really don't care about genders of the Rangers, in all honesty. It's cool, whatever it is. Godzilla Minus One, greatest Godzilla movie for the past years, hands down for the past 20 years, I'd say. I'd say that Minus One is the best Godzilla movie since the Kyoto movies, especially the first one. Who's worse, Flay or Masato Kusaka? Flay. Flay is way worse. Kusaka at least has reasons for being the hateful little douche that he is. Flay is just a manipulative little bitch. Ever heard of the Lost Toku series UFO War Fight Red Tiger or UFO Daisen? Red Tiger. No, I am not familiar with Red Tiger. It's another Lost Toku like the one I reviewed a few years ago, which was... I can't remember the name of it. Oh well. So the next Ultra series is going to be Ultraman Arc. That's the name that has been trademarked. So that's what we're assuming the next Ultra series is going to be called. JG, so... Boom Boomjer will be a great series. Please, Toei, make Boom Boomjer good. Let's hope. They have a Pokemon writer on it, so I'm not too thrilled. He did 1 episode of Ghost Sager, and he worked on that recent Digimon anime that apparently was 67 episodes. That was 67 episodes, and apparently only had 5 actual story-based episodes. So we'll see. Captain Your Crunch 45. Welcome. Star Wars fan, if Hasbro doesn't care about Power Rangers, and who will own the brand? Will Saban buy it back again, or will it be a different group get it? Who knows? Hasbro might just keep it because They paid for it and they want to use something for it. But I really think if they're going to play the game of they need to be if they need to be middleman between Shout and Toei, they either need to get their asses moving and get someone dedicated to that, or just give up their middleman right. Don Brothers or King Ultra. It's too can't say for sure, Chris, until King Ultra's done, but I still would probably pick Don Brothers over King Ultra. Grangi. I like Grangi better than Shocker. Shocker is just a normal, typical terrorist organization, Cobra, Nazis. The Grangi are actual mythical creatures. Favorite Power Ranger series from the Disney era? SPD. SPD is just my favorite Power Ranger series in general. I felt like it was the one that focused the most on story. And I liked all the characters. I thought Disco Skeletor was an interesting villain, even though he didn't have the greatest design. I liked that they ripped things out of Abba Ranger with his daughter. And I liked the characters. I liked the development they got, especially for Bridge and Sky. I liked that Sky became the Red Ranger by the end. So yeah, SPD all the way. Yeah, Anthony, it would be cool to have both Gold Ranger and the original Kamen Rider on Blu-ray in America. But I also would like Flashman and Denjimon, Geki Ranger, and then Don Brothers and King Ultra. Let's see. Doritos or Cheetos? Cheetos all the way. For one thing, I don't like most Doritos flavors. I like the Cool Ranch and the nacho cheese. I could do without all the other ones. Cheetos, though, you've got the hot crunchy, the hot puffs, the regular puffs, the crunchy, the popcorn. Although my top and the hot fries, my top favorites are the hot fries and the baked hot crunchy. Jake Schuster, I'm happy we are getting more Space Sheriff by Discotheque. Same. Hopefully it won't take them that long to bring Scheider out as well. Octuple Canvas, they should do 4 boxes of the original Kamen Rider series like they did with the original Transformers series. That was for DVD, though. There's no reason to do that anymore with Blu-ray. They can get the series done in 2 box sets, 50 and 48, or 49.49, depending on how they want to go about it. Toei always had a rivalry with Tsuburaya for so many years because which is the best Toku company? I will always pick Rider and Sentai over Ultraman no matter what. So, Toei. Thunder Mask. That's the one I reviewed that was lost. Thank you, Octuple. Mido from Zerth. Outside of Princess Zelda, none of them made any impact. There's not even really anything to talk about. They were just your stereotypical commander who was loudmouth, second in command, the fat dude, and then Princess Zelda. Well, the damsel in distress. Toru, if you don't know who I'm talking about. Mido was just there. They were incompetent. I know that was the point. So I don't hate them too much, but there's not much to really talk about with them. That's the problem. JG, hear me out. I say Shuriken is the best spaceship series, and if you don't agree with me, I'm coming after you. Bring it. I'm right here. I have not watched The Witch from Mercury yet, Russian. I'm waiting for it to be brought out onto Blu-ray. What is your most anticipated movie of 2024? I don't really know many of the movies coming out next year because with the writer strike, who knows what's actually coming out. Um, I guess Deadpool 3 is the only one I know for sure I'm looking forward to. I know Pixar is just re-releasing some of their old stuff that came out during COVID in the theaters. But yeah, I have no idea of what is actually coming out next year. I know Dune is coming out, but I haven't even bothered to watch the first one yet. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess Deadpool 3 right now is my anticipated movie of the year because it's the only one that I know for sure I'm going to go see. Did you watch Power Rangers RPM yet from Mr. Universe 16? Yeah, I watched it a couple years ago. I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot. It's not my favorite Power Rangers series, but I enjoyed it a lot. I loved the stuff like when they call the suit spandex and the scientist lady, Dr. K, goes all off on why it's not spandex, and when they ask why the cars have the anime googly eyes. Oh, so much good stuff. Will you ever review Power Rangers in the way you review Sentai? Well, you mean outside of just reviewing the first season of Power Rangers? I will get to Power Rangers eventually. I'm not going to review it all in succession like I have been with Sentai, but I will sprinkle Power Rangers reviews out here or there. I also want to bring back the Power Rangers versus Sentai series I was doing. Since I'm not planning to take a full time teaching job again next school year, that's probably when I'll go back to doing those. Shocker was good in the original Kamen Rider, but in other movies they are okay. Anthony Serkis. Any more silent horror films you plan to check out in the future? Not at the moment. I watched earlier back in October. I watched Golem, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera, and what was the other one I watched? Golem. Oh, Nosferatu. But nothing else at the moment that I necessarily need to check out. I mean, unless somehow they find a copy of London After Midnight, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. Tom Wilkinson. Tom Wilkinson. Who is Tom Wilkinson? I mean, that sucks, but I don't know who Tom Wilkinson is. Tom Wilkinson. I don't know who Tom Wilkinson is, but that sucks. What if Gotcha ends Toei wanted to create a series on what if Kamen Rider Zex had a real what? Wait a minute. What if after Gotchard and Toei wanted to create a series on what if Kamen Rider Zex Z Cross had a real personality would be called Next Generation Z Cross? I don't know if it would work as well. I kind of feel like the Showa Kamen Riders don't work in the modern era. They just need to stay in the Showa era. Nick Cooper, enjoy Kaku Ranger. Kaku Ranger is amazing. Oh, I prefer the Star Wars fan. I prefer the yokai from Kaku Ranger. Not even a contest. They're actually threatening and terrifying at times. The yokai and ninja are like little kitty teddy bears compared to Kaku Rangers Yokai. No, I did not hear there's a Shin Kamen Rider Blu-ray coming out in Canada. I hope that means one's coming out soon for the US and it's not from Cleopatra. Yeah, I don't understand why it's Mysterious Youth Defense Organization. I don't understand the youth in that. No, it's not youth. It Shoutfire. Mill Creek's DVD has it as Mysterious Yonder Defense Organization. Yonder, not youth, not young. Yonder. Why Go Under sucked? Because it was poorly written. Yeah, JG, I thought the humor was forced and the characterization was bad. It also was like Cameo, the movie. Although some of the cameos were funny, I don't talk about it in the review, but I did like when Hayata's actor in the second movie pulls out the spoon to try to transform. And then we had in the first movie when he's the security guard, he pulls out his flashlight and then goes like that. That was kind of fun. Did you watch the 2 Total Drama Island reboot seasons? No, I haven't seen Total Drama Island since season 2. Was it Total Drama Island Action Now or whatever they called it? Oh, that's right. The Nosferatu remake comes out next year. Thanks, Anthony. I do have something to look forward to. Actually, there is another movie coming out next year I am looking forward to. Maxine. It's the sequel to X and Pearl. So Maxine I'm looking forward to next year. 10 episodes into Den-O. What do you think of it so far, Octopo? I haven't watched Den-O since it first aired. I was not a huge fan of it. Total Drama Action. Thank you, Star Wars fan. Favorite character in King Oger so far? It's a toss-up between Rita and Yanma. I don't know which one I like more. Every time I think I like Rita more, Yanma does something that makes me like him. And then every time Yanma does something that makes me want to like him more, Rita does something badass. So I'm not sure. It's a toss-up between those two. I saw a plot of Boom Boom Jr. and people say it sounds like the same as Courage. Yeah, I saw that plot description and I said, oh, so it's like Go On Jr. but without Lightning McQueen. Decade or Kiva. Kiva was a good series. Not great, but a good series. Decade was just crap. I'm already caught up on the questions. Wow, I'm impressed with myself right now. Let's see. What else have we been doing? Well, let's see. We've watched a bunch of movies on 4K and stuff for Christmas. I don't know if you guys saw the Twitter posts or the Facebook posts with the Christmas hauls, but besides Spider-Man 2, I got Rope, Man Who Knew Too Much, and 4Ks of Rope, Man Who Knew Too Much, Torn Curtain, To Live and Die in LA. And what was the other 4K I got? Well, Across the Spider-Verse. Creature from the Black Lagoon. And then Krelika, she got Night of the Demons 1, 2, and 3. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which I've saw once many years ago, long before I even saw the first movie, and I hated it. Maybe I'll like it this time around. Tremors 2 we got, which was enjoyable. I will say the first half hour was kind of rough, but once things got moving, it got better. It was weird not having Kevin Bacon in the movie because the chemistry between him and Fred Ward worked so well in the first movie that it felt missing in this one, in the second one. And then Creepshow in 4K, which looks amazing. Oh my god, Creepshow looks so incredible in 4K. Cujo, which was all right. Not my favorite Stephen King movie. Um, I call it Beethoven's Bad Day, which was funny. But the movie, I don't know. I had some mixed feelings on that Cujo. Pacing issues galore. And then what else have we watched this week? We watched Knock at the Cabin the other day because I needed more movies for my list, for my worst list. I actually was thinking about watching Rebel Moon so I could put on my worst list, but no matter what I did, my brain would just not turn on Rebel Moon. It was like, well, you could watch Rebel Moon, or you could watch The Man Who Knew Too Much. And then we watched that. And then I was like, well, you could watch Rebel Moon, or you could watch Creepshow. Well, you could watch Rebel Moon, or you can watch Tremors 2. Oh, Talk to Me. Corellica got for Christmas the Australian release of Talk to Me that comes with the replica of the hand. So yeah, this is pretty cool. It's a 4K release. The disc is on the shelf, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's quite handy. Trying to see if I can get good lighting for it. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. Haven't rewatched Talk to Me since theaters. That is such a good movie, though. Definitely check out Talk to Me if you haven't seen it. We have been watching a lot of the film noirs from the up here by my finger, the box sets from Kino. There's been a couple of really great ones, a lot of stinkers, and then a couple really terrible pieces of crap. And then we watched the Silent Night, Deadly Night series, which got worse, sort of, as it went along. The first movie was fine. The second movie was like half clip show, which, like, watching it the day after we watched the first one was kind of like, okay, this movie was utterly pointless. 45 minutes of this movie is just recap. What the hell? It's like they made the second movie and was like, we don't actually have enough movie for a movie. Well, let's just put a recap of the first movie in there. Okay. Just fill up the time with however much footage we need. Well, we need 45 minutes. Okay, do that. But then can't people just watch the first movie? Yes, but this is the sequel. The third movie was complete dog shit. The fourth movie was kind of like, hey, I've got a shitty movie, but I don't have a title. Well, I've got a title, Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, but I don't have a movie. I can set my movie up at Christmas time. Okay, deal. And then the fifth one was probably the best of the sequels. Probably. Not that that's saying much, but at least the fifth one didn't have worm creatures and cults and witches and wasn't totally flat out boring. It was kind of boring, but not flat out boring. And then what else did we watch? I don't know. Ooh. All right. And then, well, we're 10 episodes into the Gavin Blu-ray. Now that there's a release date for Shiravan, we have an actual set date of when we need to be done with the Gavin Blu-ray. And then I can do a quick little mini Blu-ray review. And what was the other thing? What was the other thing we were doing? Oh, been watching the new Doctor Who. The Christmas special was awesome. Okay. Break the Chain or Alive Alive? Break the Chain. Break the Chain is like my favorite Toku opening theme. Happy upcoming New Year. Same to you, Russian. Best Soda series. Flashman. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Oh, how did I forget about Planet of the Apes? Yes, Planet of the Apes I'm looking forward to. Definitely looking forward to Planet of the Apes. Couldn't give a damn about Dune. Godzilla Kong looks terrible, looks awful. Not feeling Furiosa, but I didn't feel Fury Road from the trailers as well. Have no interest in Joker 2. I don't really see the purpose for doing another Joker movie. Ghostbusters 4. We'll probably go see it because the last one turned out to not be so bad when we rented it. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad. Octuple. I do like Deno so far, and the monsters are cool, but I know that I have to watch the movies and all the other stuff. Yeah, Deno is... That's one of the reasons I have not rushed to get to Deno. There's just because you just need all this movie, all the side content to actually enjoy Deno. Did you see Husband Hotel and Hell of a Boss? I've watched Hell of a Boss. I haven't watched season 2 because I was waiting for season 1 to actually end before I watched season 2. Husband Hotel, I have not. I mean, I watched the pilot a few years ago, but I'm not a fan that they're going to be changing all the voice cast. What are your thoughts on Beef Fighter Kabuto? I gave the show an 8. I've only seen it raw, and I didn't see the first Beef Fighter, but I liked it a lot. There were a couple of boring bits, but I enjoyed Kabuto. Favorite writer protagonist of all time? Kotaro, Kamen Rider Black. Wait, they're remaking The Faculty? Oh. Some movies just need to stay in the 90s. Some movies don't work outside of their time period. Is that a hand? Yes, it was a hand. Supreme Omega! Hope you are well. On Star Wars, if you wanted one legit grievance with Lucas, it sucks that he never made the unaltered theatrical versions of the original trilogy world widely available. I agree. Or Disney. Disney should have done the 4K of the original versions. I still have the DVDs of the theatrical cuts that I watch. Now, I'm not against all the alterations they made in the special editions, but then they added in the no from Vader, and they made the rock area that R2 hides in the first movie impossible for him to have even gotten into. So I would rather watch the original versions at this point than the newer ones. The problem is only the newer ones have been put on 4K, and those DVDs are starting to get harder to watch because they're not made for modern technology, and modern technology is making it harder to enjoy them because they don't even do zoom in anymore on TVs. So I can't zoom the picture in to get the full frame of the TV because those DVDs were letterboxed. So they didn't grow with the size of the TV. I am better than Krellica Kane. Was this year good or bad? It was a year. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. Nobody died. That I knew of. There was going to be a third Earth movie, but it never happened because they decided to make the Tiga Dyna movie. Yeah, I know. I've read. I saw that, which explains why the Earth movies didn't have an ending. Don McCollin. Don't know if you saw my comment, but Don Brothers, in my honest opinion, is the best Super Sentai themes ever. I played a few times. I saw your comment on that. That's pretty cool. It's not my top favorite theme, but it is definitely up there. The Time Ranger theme is still my favorite. But yeah, the Don Brothers theme is awesome. Deka or Geki? Geki. Geki has villains that are actually developed. Any more Hammer films you plan to check out? Mainly the ones you haven't seen. Well, I do have that Hammer collection from Mill Creek. I've only watched some of the movies on there. So at some point, I am going to watch more of those Hammer films from that one. I may eventually watch the rest of the Dracula movies I hadn't seen. Because let's see, on the Hammer set, I have watched The Gorgon, which I liked, The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, which sucked. I don't know how we went from the first Mummy to that one, but it sucked. Curse of Frankenstein's on there. Cash on Demand, which is great. Oh, what's the other one that's on there that we watched? I don't know. I think Hammer did a Phantom of the Opera, so eventually I'll check that one out. But yeah, there are more Hammer movies I will check out. I'm just not. It's just not a priority right now. Least favorite Armada character from Transformers Armada. Bulk and Skull. Whatever Ed, and Eddie's names were. What is the best theme song of Super Sentai? Time Ranger. The Games. Thea Games 10. Thea Games 10. The A Games 10. Hi. Hi. Alright. Guts or Zieg? Jeeg. I like Guts. Although, yeah, I'm gonna go with Guts. Bioman or Turbo Ranger? Bioman. As much as I found Bioman boring, I will definitely take it over Turbo Ranger. Bioman tried to do something new, and it had a lot of great ideas. There were cool things in Bioman. It's just I think also I watched the show before I fully accepted the way 80s Sentai shows were done. Supreme Omega, message retracted. Deny. Only anime movie did get is Kung Fu Panda 4, Garfield Inside Out, Despicable Me, 4 Transformers 1, anime Lord of the Rings, and more. Also, Ultraman animated film in Netflix. Oh yeah, there is that Ultraman cartoon movie coming out, and I am not a fan of what I've seen of it so far. Toku Punk, hiya! Star Wars fan, favorite Simpsons episode of all time. Treehouse of Horror 5. However, that's kind of cheating. So, with a non Halloween episode, it is 22 short films about Springfield. It's like watching a Tarantino movie as a Simpsons episode. Goji Shea, 1991. Hey there, sir. Glad I finally caught a Q&A again. Well, glad you're finally here. Supreme Omega. Do you feel certain franchises should have stayed dead and buried? For me, there are only two good Terminator movies, only two good Alien films. Yes, I'm not against them trying to do another one, but sometimes when you hit that right thing, you, that right stride, you're not going to be able to do it again. Like no one is going to be able to make a movie on Who Goes There that outdoes John Carpenter's The Thing. No one will ever be able to make a better movie of that story. Just like no one will be able to make a better version of Psycho than Hitchcock. The only person who could do a better version of The Man Who Knew Too Much was Hitchcock. So there are certain movies that just you're not going to be able to do better than what was already done before. So I really think they don't necessarily have to say dead and buried, but I think you need to figure out, is it going to be worth making a movie on when you know it's going to get compared to the original? Now, the one great thing about doing remakes or sequels of older franchises is you bring new life into a franchise that brings new audiences to the original. So that's one thing I think is great. Like King Kong was essentially a dead franchise until Peter Jackson remade the original. Then it got people to go check out the original. So in that case, I definitely think there's a purpose for remakes or revivals. It lets people go see the original or know that there was an original. Like Nightmare Alley. I don't think most people knew Nightmare Alley was a remake. And Del Toro's remake was incredible. It's not better than the original, but it was still incredible and let more people know that there was an original movie. All right. So, yeah, I don't think things need to stay dead and buried. I just think that they need to be smart about what their purpose is. If it's to at least revitalize interest in the original, I'm all for it. If they think they're going to make a better movie than the original, then they might want to think about it. Like A Christmas Carol, for example. That one has been made time and time again. There are some really shitty ass versions, which actually I was originally intending to do a ranking video of all the adaptations of Christmas Carol I had watched, but never got to it because sick and report cards. But I had recently watched the 1938 version, and it completely bastardized the story. Bob Cratchit is fired at the beginning. Scrooge decides has changed his ways right at the first ghost. It just completely changed the meaning. Not as badly as that BBC shit stain of a TV series three-parter they did a few years ago. That completely spat over A Christmas Carol. And you know what? Fine. There's been so many adaptations, you want to try something new. Okay. If you want to do something new, cool. But don't miss the whole freaking point of the book. Like the movies missed the whole purpose of the book. And Scrooge would never have any interest in wanting to rape a woman. So yeah. Even though he didn't actually do it on screen, the implication was there that he was going to do it. Meanwhile, my favorite version is probably the 80s version with Scott as Scrooge. It gets so much from the book right, does it effectively. There are little things that it doesn't do as well as like the 50s version with Sim, but overall, I feel like it is the most faithful version of the book to date, even though it doesn't have everything from the book accurately, because every movie, for some reason, cuts out things and puts in their own stuff. I don't know why. Anyway, that's why I don't think a series needs to stay dead and buried, but you need to be smart about why you're bringing it back. I'll get off my soapbox. Favorite Baldwin member? Wow. I was He's in my head. I had him in my mind as I was doing my whole Christmas Carol rant, and tre oh my god, Trecheron in Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Why am I suddenly blanking on his name now? I just had him in my mind. Budot. Yeah, Budot. Or Budo. Budo. Budo's my favorite Balban member. Toku Punk. Wait, what Berserk got to do with Tiga and Dinah? Pros and cons. Actually, that would be Gaia, not Dinah. Pros and cons about King Oger. Pro. Very well told story. Excellent characterization. Great ideas. It's like an anime in Sentai form. Con. It's like an anime in Sentai form. Just the backgrounds took a lot to get used to. The green screen effects still don't always work out well. Fortunately, they have the storytelling to make up for the areas that it does not work well in. And the villains, well, the first half of the villains were meh. This new batch of villains are pretty badass. They kind of remind me of the Infertia gods with the way they're executed, but it's a stalled a little bit from when we last watched. And some of the plots they're using, like the idol ones, they don't make total sense for the King Oger universe. But I thought they've done everything effectively well. Even the crossover with Kyoruger that I was kind of dreading worked. I won't say it was their greatest ideas ever, but it worked. So yeah, those are my pros and cons. Don McCullen, good point. Time Ranger rocks. Maybe I should play that too. Mr. Arrowverse 16. What is your favorite movie that Miyazaki did, minus Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle? My favorite movie is Princess Mononoke. I think his best movie is The Wind Rises, though. I feel like that's the movie where he put everything in because it was going to be, at the time, his final movie. But my favorite is Mononoke. That was my first one, and as good as the others are, there's just something about Mononoke that I just absolutely love. That the other movies seem to be missing. I would say Nausicaa Valley of the Wind closely has the closest connection with Mononoke in style, but that ending just feels off. And then, like, The Boy and the Heron was pretty good. Not my favorite, not his best. I would say my least favorite Miyazaki movie is Ponyo. I just don't really care for that one that much. Porco Rosso was fun, which I was dreading when I was watching. Was totally dreading watching it. Ended up enjoying that one. My Neighbor Totoro was good. Howl's Moving Castle is a weird one for me. I like the first 2/3 of it, but then I feel like it kind of loses itself in the last third, and I don't know why. I feel like it loses itself. I like it a lot, but I really do. Spirited Away is a damn good one. Kiki's not bad. Lupin the Third is incredible. The one he did, the Castle of Cogliostro, and what am I missing? I'm missing one more, right? I'd have to check my Disney complete, well, no longer complete collection. I wish they would bring these Miyazaki movies to 4K in America, though. Like, what's the deal, Shout Factory? Hurry up. Um, Time Ranger theme overrated? I disagree. Tacos or burritos? Not truly into either. They're okay. At the school I go at, we have this breakfast burrito club, Um, and the breakfast burritos aren't bad. There's one place by us though that actually has a really damn good breakfast burrito. I was really impressed. But I'm not a fan. I'm not like the biggest fan of either. They're not bad. I guess I would probably take tacos over the burritos. King Oger theme is best. I like the King Oger theme. It's grown on me, but it's not my favorite. Ricardo Productions. Hi, Kaiju. Hi, right back. Mr. Arrowverse 16. Garfield movie doesn't look great. Well, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I didn't even realize that they were doing a new Garfield movie. Why are they doing a new Garfield movie? Okay, more comments. Do you recognize? Yeah, I do know your name via Games 10. Sometimes I just like, oh wait, how did I pronounce that before? But yes, I do recognize your name. The King Oger live streams just happen when they happen. Silver Quill can't come over every Saturday, so we just do them every couple of weeks when he's over. Like he's not coming over today, so we'll do the next. Hopefully, he'll come over next Saturday, so we can do the next batch of King Oger episodes then. And I don't schedule a live stream because I don't know when we're going to be done. Sometimes we end up eating dinner before we do the live stream. Sometimes we do the live stream right after we have finished the episodes. But also at times he might not come over till 4 or 5 o'clock, and we might not get started watching them right away. It might be like an hour before we start. So I don't schedule anything ahead of time. We just do them as they come. And then, yeah, and because we're not doing them on our own, we don't set to a specific day for them. I mean, usually they are going to be Saturdays because that's when Silver Quill comes over. Which of the two Godfather films do you like? I like the second one. The second one's my favorite. I really love the De Niro sequence when he's the younger Vito. The first one is truly incredible as well, but I definitely prefer the second one. Those two movies are absolutely wonderful. And the 4Ks are incredible too. Um, have you seen the Gamer anime on Netflix? I have not watched it. I have not heard good things on it. And the clips I saw, the animation looked like Donkey Doo. So, or Donkey Doo Doo, I should say. I said doo doo. Um, so I never put it on my list to watch at the moment because, like most things that are on Netflix, they get put on the back burner. I just I haven't watched Tiger and Bunny season 2 because it's on Netflix. And I love Tiger and Bunny. But when I haven't even gotten to Tiger and Bunny season 2, everything else that's on Netflix is going to get set aside. Because Tiger and Bunny season 2 is more important to me than all the other anime stuff on Netflix, and I haven't gotten to that. Have ever watched one of the Galaxy Fight seasons? Just whatever has been on the Blu-rays that Mill Creek has put out. Ultraman Arc is going to be the new generation Ace. We'll see. What's your most anticipated movie for the next year, Goji Shay? Well, we actually talked about that a little while ago because somebody else asked, and I couldn't think of what was coming out next year. But now that we've gone through the list, I actually do, and it's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most. And then there's Deadpool 3 and Maxine. But yeah, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I don't know how I forgot about that one. But that's my most anticipated movie for next year. My problem with Ultraman is that it's the same concept overall. I could not watch. I love Jeed being different, having the monster. Jeed is independent. MIB, Men in Black. Jeed was a good one. Not my favorite, but it was good. Orb was incredible. X is probably my favorite of all the new generation ones for the second Heisei era, and then Blazer would be my favorite of the Reiwa era. Have you seen the new Wonka movie? Nope. I've got no interest in Saw for kids. Well, mostly because this new one looks terrible. Kamen Rider 64. Hello. Thoughts on Crime from Jekka. They were there. They were a group, neither good nor bad. They were just kind of there. What comments? What kind of Kamen Rider series do you want to see? A good one, a really good one. Mr. Irova 16. Have you watched Bates Motel, I think you mean. Nope, I have not. Mostly because I don't have an interest in the Psycho universe beyond the one movie. I know Arrow Video had released the whole box set of the sequels or of the series, the movies in the UK. Just, I don't care. I don't have an interest in anything but the original movie. I thought your thoughts on Russell T Davies' return to Doctor Who and David Tennant return. How was different from 10? Couple with was first appearance. I think Doctor Who has been great. Not perfect. The dialogue has been clunky at times, but I think Doctor Who is at the best it has been since Capaldi's second season. The specials were energetic. They were fun. They were engaging. Neil Patrick Harris was phenomenal as the toy maker. I always thought he was called the Celestial Toy Maker. I didn't know it was just the toy maker. So that was kind of interesting. I thought he brought back an energy that was missing. It was a good time. They also brought Unit back finally, respectably, compared to the garbage they did to Unit in Whitaker's era. And Gatwa, I think Shooty is fantastic. I loved the first episode. I'm looking forward because apparently this first season is going to have some fantasy elements in it to go with the sci-fi, and I'm looking forward to it. Doctor Who is always at its best when it tries new things. The Tom Baker years, when it was all horror-based with Philip Hinchcliffe, was the best era of Doctor Who. Capaldi's second season was very horror-based, so I am really looking forward to see what they do with the fantasy-based stuff. And Shooty's personality is amazing. He's fantastic. Again, unlike Whitaker, who was very dry and super serious, Shooty, and she didn't have any energy to her role. Shooty has energy, and I can't wait to see what he does. Ricardo, right now I am not feeling Boom Boom Jer. It's nice to see Zoe and Jamie. Yeah, I saw the Tales from the TARDIS stuff. Those are fun little things. Although, it would have been nice if they had actually put them in order on YouTube because it was all kinds of mixed up. I ended up watching ones that were like the end one first before the first one, and the middle one before the first one, and the end one, and yeah. What is your best and worst of Ultraman? The best is Ultra 7. The worst is Ultra 7X. Mr. Ilova, 16. One of the main characters in the show is Norman's half brother, and he's a great. Why would you wait? Okay, so one, Norman's half brother. Secondly, they were adapting the movie into the final season. The series should end before the movie. Wait, so does his mom die before the final season? Because it's supposed to be a 10-year gap. Is Zenkaiger good or bad? Zenkaiger is awful. I thought Zerth was Berserk. Into the show, they changed something with the shower scene from the original movie. Toku Zenkai mid of D Brothers and King Oja are the best Sentai ever. Oh, Zenkai mid as fuck. Okay. The new Ultraman series is called Arc. What is this Arc? 1 from 01? Thoughts on the last voyage of the Demeter? I have not actually seen the last voyage of the Demeter yet. I've been kind of wanting to see it, kind of not. My local library has had the Blu-ray on order forever. Forever. I recently played Castlevania on the NES Classic Edition. Nice. I have mixed thoughts on the original Castlevania games. The NES ones specifically. Frieza Saga. I prefer the Frieza Saga. Well, I mean, actually no. Frieza's my favorite villain, but I prefer the Cell Saga over the Frieza Saga. What you think Chris Pop? Who's Chris? Chris Hemsworth does Optimus Prime in what movie? And Chris Pratt? Meh, whatever. What isn't Chris Pratt in these days? Mark Guerrero. What crossover would you rather see? Ranger versus Jetman or Kaku Ranger versus Die Ranger? Kaku Ranger and Die Ranger. Actually, if it didn't take so long to set up, I want to do with my Shotos, which I still have to do those as videos, my Shoto pictures. Forgot all about that. Something for next year. I want to do a Die Ranger versus Jew Ranger Photoshop, since I have the Die Ranger Katropos for the Shotos, and I still have some putties from the old Bandai line from 2010, along with the Super 7 reactions to Bandora and her crew, Rita and her crew technically. So I wanted to do something with Die Ranger versus Jew Ranger. But between those two, I would rather have a Kaku Ranger versus Die Ranger movie. Hammer Films, I would recommend The Devil Rides Out. I have Curse of the Werewolf. Seen that. I like that one a lot. Plague of the Zombies and Rasputin the Mad Monk. Isn't Rasputin on my set? Nope, it's not. But yeah, I've got I don't know if it's showing up, but I've got Curse of the Werewolf. Alright. I like Curse of the Werewolf a lot. When you watch Ryu Soldier, I'm like, just in the bathroom eating toilet paper to forget about Ryu Soldier and everything in that crappy and shitty Sentai that was ever made. Did you watch Don Brothers vs. Don Buddy from Black Sun? No, I am not familiar with that. After Don Brothers versus Zenkaiger, I'm kind of not interested in anything Don Brothers versus anymore. Goji Shea, what did you think of the best action movie that doesn't have any sci-fi elements? What do you think is the best action movie that doesn't have any sci-fi elements? My favorites are between the first Die Hard or The Raid. An action movie that doesn't have sci-fi elements. Hmm. Oh, actually, Nobody. Nobody I liked a lot. Or Shoot 'Em Up from with Clive Owen and Paul Giamatti. That was a good one. That one I liked a lot. Shoot 'Em Up, Nobody with Better Call with Saul Goodman, Bob Odenkirk. Um, well, I guess I mean Neo Noir. I guess counts as an action movie. So To Live and Die in L.A. I'll go with that one. If you count that as an action movie, I'm going with To Live and Die in L.A. Which someone release Go Line Uncut in the States. Well, we have had a release of Go Lion and Dairugar, but I wish Discotek would release them on Blu-ray because the DVDs are long out of print, and Media Blasters did not do those shows justice. What are your thoughts on this year as a whole? Mediocre. It wasn't downright terrible, but wasn't exactly great. Um, could have been better. Gaming was okay. Movies kind of sucked this year as a whole. Nothing. There wasn't like there weren't awful movies. It's just there wasn't a lot of wow factor with movies this year. The wow factor was kept to a minimum. Even TV shows were very low key this year. And then, of course, we had the strikes and the political bullshit. So this year was crap, but not the worst. Don Vito is a classic character in the Godfather duology. I agree. He was awesome. What a Russian wanderer. What I mean about Turn A being woke is the main hero is a person of color. The Earth. Yeah, okay. I get what you're going with, Russian. I don't care. I have nothing against woke elements. I mean, if the people in the real world just accepted everyone is equal, we wouldn't need woke in television series and stuff. If people just stopped being assholes to each other, we wouldn't need to have media shove it down our throats. But since people don't listen to people, television shows need to tell people to stop being assholes. RTD's handling of David Tennant returns and the new Doctor's intro shows has hit a major bias. I do agree on that part. I don't understand why they changed David Tennant's clothing. Um, I thought there'd be some sort of like true explanation for that. But I've got no problem with. I mean, I do agree on that part, but I have no problem with the shooting thing. I mean, it makes sense. Shooty's doctor and Tennant's doctor split, so they each split each other's clothing. I thought that was pretty ingenious. Car Ranger or Jetman? Car Ranger. Car Ranger or Mega Ranger. Car Ranger. Yeah, this decade has been a train wreck. Legendary either needs more Toho monsters or get better designers. Now Godzilla and Kong are basically fighting evil Godzilla and Kong. Yeah, but that would first require the people behind the MonsterVerse to actually give a damn about making more than just shitty ass monster movies. That's why I made a joke online of Warner Brother executives after the success of Minus One, where it has um, Jordan Peele sweating. Where is Krelika? Krelika is currently playing Danganronpa V3 in the bedroom. If you could choose an Ultra series to fix, what would you pick? 80. I would keep it that he's a teacher the entire series. What was the better first person Resident Evil game in your opinion? 7 or 8? 7. Well, I played Village also in third person, so I kind of cheated there. But 7 was more horror oriented and was a much better game. Village had cool elements. I loved areas of Village, but Village was too much of an amalgamation. Village was kind of what 6 wanted to be, but with one character instead of all the changing characters. Also, though, Village's last hour kind of ruined the game a little bit for me. There's a little switch that goes on, and that kind of hurt the game overall. What's your favorite Toku villain? Junior from Kaku Ranger. Villain group would be the Saima clan from Go Go 5. Thoughts on the Orphanax from Fives? I think the Orphanax were great. I thought they were an interesting idea. I just wish they had been utilized better in the end. The upcoming Garfield movies animated, not live action. Still, why are we doing more Garfield movies? Tomorrow will be 24 in some parts of the world, but not yet for. Yep. I still always made the joke back in '99 when they were talking about how, oh my god, 2000 is going to be the end of the world, or not. No, Y2K was 2000. The end of the world was 2012. My comment was always, okay, so by what time zone is this going to happen? Because the end of the world's going to end in 2012. So is it going to end sequentially, which each time zone? So does this mean those on the later time zones can go flee to the areas that have already been destroyed to avoid the destruction? Or which time zone is the world going to end at? Just so I know. Did you know that the SPD cast was actually not American? Most of the cast is Canadian. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could tell. But also, being from Buffalo, we were always known privy to Canadian stuff, actors and stuff like that. Wait, no. Yes. Do you feel every character needs a definitive ending? For me, that is the big problem that faces superhero comics because character growth and deaths gets undone due to these lack of definitive endings. Not every character needs an ending, but it would be nice if they did arcs where you could jump off. Like for me, X-Men ends with Age of Apocalypse because they wipe out the Age of Apocalypse universe and then everything goes back to the way it was. It's just a giant circle. Although I have liked what I've read for House of X and Powers of X outside of X of Swords. Um, but like I felt right now, I mean, I've been reading the Clone Saga for Spider-Man very, very, very slowly. I've been reading it for like 3 years now. I'm 3 volumes done of 4, and I felt that there's no need to bring Peter Parker back. The way things are going right now with Mary Jane about to have a baby, his powers being gone, them living across the country, and Ben Riley being in New York as Spider-Man, I think that should have been how it stayed. There was no need to bring Peter Parker back. It was a good ending for Peter Parker. To be honest, I didn't like Space Sheriff Gavin because I feel like the series was boring, which is why I never went back to watching the show, given how bored I was with that. It's not for everyone. You have to look at it twofold. One, it's the first first Minnow Hero series ever, so he played it quite safe. But also, it's the time period where where shows were more about the plots of the week rather than having an overarching story. Like there is an overarching story, it's just very slow. Fortunately, I felt like the actor Oba carried the show. He carried it through the negatives. Favorite Pink Panther movie and episode of the classic 64 to 78 series, not including the 93 series, and also Pink Panther's Pale Sorry. I've actually never seen a Pink Panther movie. I can't tell you what my favorite episode of the cartoon series was because I've not seen the show in like 20 something years. I haven't seen it since it was on Cartoon Network. Don McCullum. What I meant to say is that it's the same thing. Poodle military group, one of them gets to be Ultraman, different character, but same thing, guts, whatever. Yeah, I can. That's why I pick Kamen Rider and Sentai over Ultraman, but damn, I love Ultraman at times. Mark Guerrero, what scrap crossover would you rather see? Halloween, Hellraiser, Halloween crossover? Um, None of those really. I don't think Hellraiser and Halloween would work. They're just two different, completely different styles to really work. Hellraiser would go better with Evil Dead than Halloween. Child's Play and Megan would be kind of interesting. What's your favorite Toku episode of all, and what was the worst for you? Favorite Toku episode ever? Oh man. Favorite Toku episode ever. Favorite Toku episode ever. That's too many. I'm gonna go with the Die Ranger episode, the with Birdcage Vagabond with his golden leg. Just because that's my favorite Die Ranger episode, so I'm gonna go with that as my favorite Toku episode, since Die Ranger is my favorite Toku series. The worst episode, though. Hmm. Again, there's so many bad ones. I mean, you could pick almost anything from Ultra 7X. I guess, what do I consider the worst Toku series ever made? The worst Toku series. What would I consider the worst Toku series ever made? I mean, Ultra 7X is the worst Ultraman series, but is it the worst Toku series? I guess I'd probably take any Sentai show over Ultra 7X, even Ryu Soldier and Goanger. But then the gender bending episode of Lupot was really, really, really freaking awful. But would I consider it the worst though? Hmm. Oh, the bedwetting episode of Ultraman Ace. Hmm. Actually, no. The worst Toku episode goes to Neil Ultra Q's episode with the perfume lady and the disgusting monster that has the smell that she puts in the perfume, and then she grows a big nose at the end. That is the worst Toku episode. Tokujur or Juojur? Tokujur. Changeman or Maskman? Changeman. What review? I do own Message from Space Galactic Wars on Blu-ray, so I will eventually get to reviewing that. It's just going to be a while. Same with Cutie Honey the Live. I own the Blu-ray, so I will eventually get to it. Now, for Message from Space, I don't have the movie, so I don't know yet. John Bertwee is my favorite Doctor, also a fan of Troughton, Davison, McCoy, and David Tennant. My favorite is Tom Baker, followed by Tennant, McCoy, Troughton, and probably Pertwee. Pertwee had a lot of great episodes, and then he also had some really bad ones. Dragon Ranger versus Operate Killer versus Dragon Ranger. I like Operate Killer, but not even a contest. And Death Ranger is meh. Did you hear to get Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door remake, and Peach solo games? I heard about Paper Mario. I've got no interest in the Paper Mario series. Gotta go, Kaiju. Have a good day. Well, see, Anthony, that you probably posted it like 25 minutes ago. Tom Baker got overrated, but he eventually made peace with the show. John Nathan Turner showed him it was time to go. BBC was desperate to keep him. Yeah, I actually think Tom Baker should have left after 4 years. His fourth season started to have such tonal changes without Hinchcliffe there that I feel like 4 would have been the best for him to go because his fifth, sixth, and seventh seasons were so different compared to the first 3 that it should have been an entirely different Doctor by that point. Lupot is a great series, but it's not perfect, of course. I love, let's see, Peter Howell's arrangement of the Doctor Who theme. Which one is Howell? You see Oppenheimer? Yes, it's in my best list. Someone else has mentioned Ninja Arashi. I'll probably do so at some point. Ryu Soldier is so bad. Why did you say Godfather duology? There's 2 of them. Because there's 2 of them. X or 7 or Tiga or Gaia. 7 first. Then we'll go with probably Tiga, then Gaia, then X, or maybe X, then Gaia. But 7 is number 1. Favorite Ayakashi from Shinkenger? Oh, that's not Juzo or Dayu. So Monster of the Week. Wait, they were Ayakashi? No shit. Because I have to watch Ayakashi Samurai Horror Tales. I forgot about that. I don't know. I don't know what my favorite monster from Shinkenger would be. Can't remember them all. How would you fix O Ranger? I would well, okay. Tonal change aside, I would have more development on King Ranger and Bacchus Wrath's history. and have King Ranger be there when have Ricky be there when Bacchus Wrath is fully defeated. Favorite Sentai suits of all time? Favorite Sentai suits of all time? Probably Time Ranger, because I love the visors. Car Ranger, Tiga, or Zerth? Car Ranger. Can you do the Car Ranger pose? Which one? The Car Ranger. That one that I butchered. Junior would cream the Hurricanegers. For the Zerth movies, probably the second one was better than the first, just because the second one didn't have as much forced humor. Although I will say my favorite scene between the Zerth movies is the vending machine scene when he's just like, Shawatch, Shawatch. I show that clip like 4 times in my review. How would you end Batman's story? Dick Grayson becoming Batman? That's how I would end it. The way they should have ended it in DC. Dick Grayson became Batman. No, we don't need to be quiet while she plays. Bedroom's down that way. I take Mega over Car myself. Car Ranger is great for self-parodying comedy. Mega Ranger was great for dramas, school kids, moonlighting as superheroes, not all fun and games. Yeah, but I actually do prefer between both. Like Mega Ranger is number 10 on my 9, 10 on my list, whereas well, that list changes now with Don Brothers, and Car Ranger is like 7. I like both. I think Car Ranger works because the love plot between Xionet and Yosuke. No, I can't think of it. Works out well. Mega Ranger has the Nature Ranger stuff, but I think I might like Ginga Man more than Mega Ranger, and I like Car Ranger more than Ginga Man. So, if you could put one Toku show on hiatus and bring back Metal Hero, which would you put on hiatus? Super Sentai. As much as I love Sentai, the show's been on for almost 50 years, practically nonstop. I think what they need to do would maybe turn Sentai into a half-year show and do Metal Heroes for the other half, and have Kamen Rider be the year-long show. Although Kamen Rider has been making some terrible choices recently too. Problem is, I don't know if I would trust them with Metal Heroes these days. Most anticipated video game of 2024, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I cannot wait for Infinite Wealth. No, I'm not half Canadian. Growing up in Buffalo because we're right at the border there. Well, I mean, I might be half partially Canadian in there, but being from Buffalo, we grew up right at the border of Canada, so we have a lot of Canadian actors that are talked about. Red Dwarf or Futurama? Futurama. I've never really got into Red Dwarf. Flashman. Katajino lost from Victory Gundam makes Masato Kusaka look innocent. Yeah. Favorite Toku meme? I don't really know too many Toku memes. 7X or Jacka? Jacka. Matt Smith is my doctor. Nothing wrong with that. He had a fairly good run. Favorite doctor companion combination? Tom Baker and Leela's actor. Leela. Tom Baker and oh my god. No, what is her name? Now I can't think of Leela's actress's name. But They're my favorite combo. I think making Blazer was the best thing for Ultraman instead of a new generation guy. I agree. Matt or Tech? Well, Tech has no tech, so Matt. Who's worse, Vic or Jonathan Majors? Vic. Vic for sure, because he has rallied all his fan base to fight for him instead of doing anything himself. You know we are close to 2025. That you were an STD like undeads or apostles from Berserk, like the undeads from Blade. Because I'll go with the undeads, although I do like the apostles from Berserk. So the God Hand are pretty awesome. Peter, how did the official theme from 8085 was you? Oh yeah, I love that era of Doctor Who music. The Colin Baker music from season 2, was it 1? Is my favorite of the classic themes. Was my favorite until Whitaker's opening theme. Actually, that's kind of funny. The worst Doctor Who eras, run, seasons, have the best opening theme music. Huh. Where you and Krillika meet? We met at a local library. She worked with my mom in the fiction department, and I got a job there. Crazy how time is flying so fast. What time is it? Oh wow, it's 1 o'clock. I am going to get some lunch soon because I am getting hungry. But okay, the undeads. That was a bad pun city. Doofenshmirtz Evo Incorporated. Thoughts on Ultraman Rising? Which one's Rising? Lupa could be perfect for a 2025 adaptation set in 2045, making an SPD sequel. Sky Mentor Pot Ranger, Jack Mentor Lupin Rangers. Yeah, that could be cool. Why Kaiju always tell puns in his review? Because puns are fun. You can kind of blame Silver Quill for that, but puns are fun. I love punishing my audience and my students. Okay, that's the Netflix animated movie. From what I've seen, I'm not impressed. We'll see what happens though. You are no fun if you don't like puns. Is Dr. Doofenshmirtz to be antagonist in Phineas and Ferb? I've never watched Phineas and Ferb. But yes, I am getting hungry. And oh, Godzilla -1 for sure. Like Shin, I liked Shin. I didn't love it, but I loved -1. -1 will probably break my top 10 list. Shin Godzilla would not. Punishing. I see what you did there. Um, but yeah, so like I said, look out for my Ultraman Zerth review. That will be up tomorrow. I just have to upload it to YouTube, make sure it doesn't get any copyright claims. I've got my Like a Dragon Gaiden review in the works. I just have to start editing it. And my next Godzilla comic, which is War for Humanity issue 3. I have to edit that. And then at some point, now that I remember about it, I will do a montage video of my toy photos from my G Ranger Shotos and SMPs and Die Ranger photos and Dairino SMP. And I have one more week off, so I'm trying to get these videos done as soon as possible so I can enjoy the entire week off and play Spider-Man 2 during that time. Hopefully watch a Godzilla movie or two and maybe start Ryu Soldier. But I said I'm not going to start Ryu Soldier until the new year starts. I have not watched Godzilla Singular Point. Again, Ricardo, Netflix anime. There's other anime I would rather watch first. They do, but they laugh. Aku would whoop the Shinkingers. Yes, my students know I'm a YouTuber. I talk about it all the time. I did not hide that fact. I don't think some other teachers in administration like the fact that I'm a YouTuber, but I didn't hide it. My principal last year didn't seem to like that I was a YouTuber. But no, I don't care. It is what it is. They either accept it or they don't. But I say this straight up right away because I wanted new surprises. But yeah, they all know I'm a YouTuber. And it amazes them when they're like, wait, you're a YouTuber? Yes. Can I have your channel? No, not for you. Not for you, kid. Um, what else? Let's see, what else has gone on? Oh yeah, we had to buy a new TV the other day because our TV crapped out. Which that was fun to spend 5 hours on Thursday buying a new TV. No, bought another Samsung. This one's a 55 inch as opposed to 50, but it sucked having to drop close to $1,500 that you didn't plan on. Yes, some students have found my channel. I mean, I drink out of my water bottle that has the logo on it, so or the old logo, I should say. So that was no surprise. But others have had older siblings that got it. But yeah, some have. What else? Yeah, so new TV, Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2, bunch of movies, reviews. Oh, I've been reading the original Tales from the Crypt comics. I had bought the first 3 hardcover volumes of Tales from the Crypt. Enjoying those. I'm almost done with the 3rd volume. Sadly, it seems like volumes 4 and 5 are out of print, and all the other ones, the Haunt of Fear, Vault of Horror, are seem to be out of print, which totally sucks. Dark Horse needs to. I should ask Dark Horse on Twitter. They should release big omnibus collections of each series in singular volumes. So a Vault of Horror volume, a Haunt of Fear volume, Shock Suspense Stories volume, and all that stuff. But yeah, I've been reading those on top of X-Men and New Mutants. I'm in the 180s for X-Men. I just had gotten past where Secret Wars occurred. Let's see. Ricardo, I'm out of questions, so see you in the next year. See you, Ricardo. Devimon versus Gogo 5. Who would win? I haven't gotten that far in Digimon yet. Volt or Mess? Mess. I have a mess on aisle 5. Clean up on aisle 5. There's a mess. Think they'll actually do a new adaptation of the Planet of the Apes building off of Rise? I think so. I would love to see it. Because they teased that back in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, that the space shuttle disappeared. But anyway, that's all I've got. I am getting hungry. I want some food. So I will see you guys later. Click like, subscribe, the bell notification, whatever else YouTube has you clicking in to support me. You can support me on Patreon and Twitter at Toku AAN Network. You can support me on Discord, Facebook, Instagram at Kaiju no Kami. And then I do have a Twitch channel that at some point I will actually someday figure out how to work when I have time. Otherwise, I hope you all have a good new year, and we'll see you next time. If I can remember where to hit the stream. All right, end stream. See you guys later.